The Giants could be one of the most SuperCoach relevant teams this year, and I cannot wait to get stuck into it. G'day everyone, how are you? Happy Friday, hope you're well. I hope you will have a fantastic weekend. I hope your week has gone fantastically. I can't wait to get stuck into it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I hope you're enjoying the series. It's been really fun to make, and it's been really interesting because as we're going through each team and the more and more research I do, maybe the more confused I am about building my own team again, but I do have my first draft, and after I do, all the previews will come together, and the second draft of my team will end up coming out. But let's get stuck straight into the Giants. We begin with the defense, and their best pick is obviously Lachie Whitfield. If it wasn't for his injury-affected 32 against the Suns, he would have averaged 96.6, and you're going to get that for 500k and a DPP. That is really hard to ignore. We know what he can do. We also do know that he might cost you a bench spot once or twice because he can't really seem to put every game together. But 96.6 for 500k. That's only 5 points off premium. Jeez, that's hard to ignore, isn't it? I'm going to be keeping an eye on Leek Aller because him and Sam Taylor are the next decade key backs for the Giants. That's at least what the Giants are thinking. So getting to see him come across in his first preseason is going to be really interesting to watch. Now, I don't necessarily think he's going to play round one, but Phil Davis is on his last legs. Leek Aller is the next man up. So is this year purely development? Does he play a few games to get himself sort of AFL ready before he can really take over the role? That's all to be seen. That's why he's on the watch list. And he's at a really good price as well. For an intercept defender as well. He could be churning out 70s or 80s on us if he's taking the third best tall. On behalf of myself, for the future draft dissection co-host Smithy, and anyone else that's had this man in the last 2 years, Nick Haynes will never be touching a SuperCoach team again. Not mine. No way. Moving on. The cash cow is Josh Fahey. Genuine steal, which means his price is going to be fantastic. I do worry, though, about the fact that the Giants have got a few too many like him. So if he is in your team, you are relying on injury. So I get the feeling he's not going to start for us in round one, but he's going to be a definite downgrade option. Every team gets injuries. It seems like the Giants get a few, so he's absolutely going to be in your team at some point this year, I feel. Running halfbacker, can also go to a wing. Did play a little bit of midfield time in his junior year, but I trust him more as a dashing halfback flanker. Him, Lockie Ash, what a combination. You've got to be a good player in SuperCoach to get 10 tons in a row, and that's what the Rolls-Royce man, Josh Kelly, did. To go from a 90 average, which he had at one point during the year, and finish with 107 is genuinely outstanding. 117.4 to finish the season. This man, what more can you say? Beautiful kick. They call him the Rolls-Royce for a reason. He just oozes class. Fantastic player. Definite pod option, especially if you need a little bit of extra coin. If you're the type of person that's looking at getting, Horn Francis or Jared Berry or Matt Rowell maybe, and you may need to go from like a McRae or a Steele, one of those uber premiums, and you need someone who can still be a premium but a little bit cheaper, Josh Kelly is definitely an option. This man had a career best year last year, but we have to know, is this the new normal or was it a flash in the pan? But Jacob Hopper could be a genuine pod at some point during the year. If the Giants do get midfield injuries, his value is going to spike. You're not going to have him in round one, but he's the kind of player that you need to keep an eye on. And I also get the feeling that other clubs, even though they did sniff him and wanted to get him out of the team, that sounded terrible, but they did want to get him out of the Giants. And I get the feeling they're not going to go away even though he signed. So am I going a year too early? Maybe, but he's on the watch list. I don't know what it says about me as a fan that a lot of the players that I love end up in the no chance section, but another one's here. Tom Greene. We really need to figure out what you are, son, because I think you can be a gun. You got dropped a few times, and with Kelly, Hopper, Taranto, Coniglio, where do you fit in that mix? I'll tell you where you fit. Not in my team, unfortunately. Still love the kid, though, and I think there are definitely clubs out there that could use him in the future. Not a lot of cash cow options for the Giants midfield, but they did take Finn Callaghan really early and decided on it really early, so they do love what they see. He is pretty expensive, as we know, so he might need to be a downgrade option because he's not in their best 22 as of yet, but can play midfield, wing, or halfback. So that versatility, the Swiss Army knife nature of him, could mean he end up in our sides and he could score really well. I do get the feeling he's not going to play much this year, but if I'm wrong about that, he is going to be one of the first in my team. I love the kid. He was in my favourite draftees as well, so I'm not jumping on the bandwagon too late. Borderline created the thing. So, Finn, one to watch. Doubt he's there at the start, but could get in at some point. Well, if you were tempted by Brayden Preuss last year at 207k, you're going to be knocking people over in order to snatch him up. He does allow you to get maybe a mid-pricer on the field, or could help you get a mid-pricer that you're not 100% sure about and get them up to an uber premium status at round 1. Look, if he averages 80, money for jam, and you're going to be able to upgrade him around the bye. So, look, it's tempting. He's kind of like that toxic X that you've got, where the sex was still really good. So you're thinking it going, I shouldn't, but man, there are advantages if I do. What are you doing, Prusy? Can you figure it out, son? Because without Gawn or Goldstein, he's averaged really well, especially if you take out the injury-affected 39 that he had. He knows how to score. But get on the park, Brayden. Come on. Oh, he's a frustrating man. Best option for the forward line, Timmy Taranto, third-ranked forward for a reason. And we've actually got to thank Toby Greene a bit for Taranto being a forward. Do his turnovers kill you? Yes. Do you care as much because he's a forward and not a midfielder? Not really. 100 a game for a midfielder, you want to choke him. 100 as a forward, I will buy some. Absolutely. Timmy Taranto. He's probably out of Duncan, Dunkley, and Taranto. If you're only taking 2 of those, you're going to leave Taranto out, and I really understand that. But I feel like at some point, he is going to demand to be in people's teams. So starting him at round 1 does make more sense. And if you are going to avoid him for the year, power off to you. You've got discipline that I just do not have. So for the watch list, I'm actually going with no one. There's no one I'm really keeping an eye out for 100%. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with no one. It might surprise you, but I'm going to explain the other 2 that leap off the page in just a tick. So for the no chance, if I incorporate the no dickhead policy, Toby Greene's got to be there. Now, saying that, you should absolutely start him in your team because I'll be dead wrong about this. He'll play every game and be a good boy, probably. But sorry, I've got enough. I've got enough in the past to know that I'm not risking it at all. Forward line, there are so many good options in the forward line. Taking a gamble doesn't make that much sense to me. And for the cash cow, it's Stephen Coniglio. Only needs to average 80, and he should be doing that in his sleep. He's going to make you coin. There's no reason why he won't stay in your team all year if he plays all year. Yeah, I know. He's had 2 crap years. That's why he's at 261k, but the man's averaged triple digits before. He's not old. Why can't he do it again? He's absolutely one of the better options in your forward line. If you are going to take, these 200, 300k players, he needs to be number 1, if not number 2, behind Jared Berry on that list. So if you're not starting him, I'd love for you to comment below and let me know why, but he's a walk-up start in my team any day. And for Daz's final word, I've actually only got Taranto and Coniglio in my team at the moment. I am keeping an eye on Josh Kelly, but I'm not going to go with Preuss, I don't think. That is subject to change. Maybe I'll do some configurations with Preuss in and out of the team and see which one I like the most. But who have you got from the Giants? Who are you keeping an eye on? Comment below. Let me know. I hope you are having a fantastic week. I hope you have an even better weekend. Hawthorn, Melbourne, and North Melbourne are coming next week. I have a video about something that I have built around the Brownlow medal coming on Sunday, which I cannot wait to show you and hope you get on board with. Be safe, guys. Be well. And most of all, goodbye.